Hey guys, Michael the DC Multiverse Collector here. Super pumped, super excited to be bringing you this review of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Classic TV Series Adam West Batman 7-inch figure. Now, right at the outset, let me thank Head Start Toys and McFarlane Toys for providing me with this sample for this review. And look guys, when I'm not getting review samples, I'm buying all my own stuff. I tend to shop at awesome stores like Green Rock Comics, local independent Aussie retailer, free shipping over $100. They're fast, they've got a great range and awesome prices. Give them a look. But yeah, this figure came into my hands today and I'm so excited to review it. I've been meaning to sort of crack into the Batman 66 line, the 6-inch line, for quite some time. I've been tempted. I've been trying to pick up a few figures here and there, but I've held off. I have held off because I kind of felt in my bones we were going to get 7-inch Batman 66, and here it is. After all this time, we finally have it. Adam West in 7 inches to go with the rest of our Batman Multiverse collection in 7-inch. Super excited, and I think in package he looks really, really good. I'm impressed at first glance. I can see we've got some fun accessories. I can see what looks like a wired cape, and the figure itself looks tremendous. You can see here we've got the Batman Classic TV Series logo. Coming round to the side, you can see we have Batman Classic TV Series with the logo at the top, so that's pretty nice. And on the back of the box, you can see we have this beautiful photo of Adam West, the late great Adam West, in costume as Batman, looking like a total boss. So before I open this guy up and see how cool he really is, I'm going to ask you a favor. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's just one real quick click for you. I won't ask you more than once, and then that really helps me out, gets my videos out there. And if you like this video at all, consider giving it the thumbs up, the like. That also amplifies the chances of people seeing this video, which makes it easier for me to make more videos, so I'd really appreciate that. But without any further preamble or ado, let's get Adam West open and see how awesome he actually is. So here is Adam West Batman out of the box with all the accessories laid out, and I think it's fair to say this is actually quite a generous offering for a $20 US or $22 US, whatever it's up to now, priced figure. For a standard figure, I think there's a lot in the box. And so let's get started with the boring stuff. We get the standard DC Multiverse display stand, thin, basic, boring, but nice to have. And we get a collector's card here with a photo of the late great Adam West on the front and the data file on the back. And you can see we actually get a different data file for this Batman. And you know, the debonair millionaire Bruce Wayne may seem like your average cool cat. I like that. That's nice. So we get the card, always nice to have. And then we get the core accessories. This very, very nice little Batarang, quite nice. We also get a Bat walkie-talkie, which is fairly accurate to the source material. I do like the splash of paint on it. Pretty nice accessory to get. And most importantly, multiple sets of hands. You'll see here we get 2 gesture hands for doing the Bat dance, the Bat Tusi. You know, if you know, you know. So yeah, that's really nice to get those. And we also get another set of gesture hands, kind of like this, I don't know, picking up a phone, or I don't know. What would you call this? It's an interesting gesture, but I like it. And we get the pointy finger, which is also quite nice, in addition to the 2 gripping hands that come equipped on the Batman. So the figure itself, my first impression is that it looks wonderful. I think the basic colors, proportions, everything, the head sculpt, I think are really, really nice and really capture the Adam West Batman. I think, you know, if I was going to come up with my first sort of flaw that jumped out at me, and it's a relatively minor one in some ways, and it's kind of a baffling one in other ways, is that this cape here, you'll see we have a cloth cape with wires, which is great in theory, but it's just way too big, guys. Like, you know, we've all seen the Batman 66 TV show. He never had a cape this long. His cape usually goes down to around his knees, a bit below his knees, and it's kind of modest, and it hangs quite limply along his body. It doesn't have a lot of like fullness to it. So I think if I was sort of being nitpicky, I would say it would have been better if the cape was maybe 25, well, no, maybe more than 25%, like just smaller, just ended here, and was maybe made of that softer fabric rather than this starchy material, which just doesn't hang very well. You'll see here, it kind of just, it bunches, and it's quite thick and quite, it kind of just does its own thing. And these wires are barely enough to deal with all this bulk here. These wires will manipulate the shape of it on the side, but this is all just too long and too starchy and too thick. If it was a softer fabric, ended around there, I think it would have been a lot better. So I think the cape, while great in theory, is probably my biggest nitpick with this. I'm sure some customizers will be able to give him like a cape that's more fitting for the source material. So that's kind of my first and only disappointment so far. I think in all other respects, aesthetically, this is really, really nicely done. Now, I think in the show, Adam West Batman was maybe just a touch skinnier than this. I think this is slightly more heroic in proportions than the actual show, but not by much. You'll see this upper torso piece here has really soft musculature, not defined. That's very show accurate. I like it. The bat symbol looks really, really good. It's painted on really crisply. I think in the show maybe it was a bit lower from memory, but whatever it is, this looks really great. The big, thick, chunky utility belt is there with the pouches. I think it looks really good. It's nice and chunky like it should be. The diaper looks good. And overall, like the gauntlets have just a nice amount of texture to them. This little piece here that comes down kind of blends nicely with the cape. I don't mind that. Yeah, I think it's a handsome looking figure. I think it's a really nice looking figure. I think the colors are really, really good. And overall, I think he looks great. Let me just remove the accessories for a moment and bring you in for a look at this head sculpt. Now, I've had people complain about the head sculpt, saying it doesn't look like Adam West. I think that's a matter of opinion. I think from certain angles, it looks a lot like Adam West. I think, if you play around with it, tilt it around, you can make it really kind of resemble the source material quite a lot. I think it's a decent likeness. I don't think it's like the best ever, but I think it's more than good enough. I think particularly the eyes work really well. I like the height of the ears, the shape of the ears, the way they point out slightly, quite accurate. I like that. Yeah, it's a good looking figure. It's got nice proportions, nice colors. I think it's a banger. I just think this cape is just a little bit wrong, And I think if you were to like crinkle it down like this, maybe make it look a bit smaller and kind of pose it like that, kind of looks a little bit better. But there's just so much going on. Like, look how much is going on there. That's just not Adam West Batman. And frankly, I'm a little bit confused about why they designed it that way. Did they just use a cape from another figure without modifying it? If so, why did they do that? Surely it's not too much to just cut the cape in a different shape, just a slightly smaller shape. Anyway, really interesting one. Don't know why they did it, but I'm not going to let that drag this down. I mean, if you want to pose him like, flying through the sky or whatever, he kind of looks cool. You can do some really cool stuff, but like, he was never like this in the show. He was never like this huge wingspan kind of, flying creature of the night. That just wasn't Adam West. His cape always sort of hung limply around his body, and he would dance and it would like flop around, and I don't know. I feel like even the wires are overkill here, and I think maybe just a cloth cape, a soft cloth cape in this color would have been perfect, and they should have just left it at that. I don't know that the wire cape is doing much here, and it might be detracting from the figure slightly, but it's only a minor nitpick. The actual figure on display will look really, really nice. Now, I think this is mostly a new sculpt, but I'm wondering if the legs here, they really remind me of the Nightfall Batman buck. This is Manga Batman, which I reviewed and loved recently. I think these legs are very similar. I think maybe they've just toned down the sculpt to remove some of the sort of the sculpted wrinkles and stuff. I think they've just toned them down, but I think it's basically the same core mold. Like, look at those knees. The general shape of them is the same. I think they're modified Nightfall Batman, and I think they look really good. They're quite fitting for Adam West, so no complaints there. Under the cape, you'll see he looks good at the back as well. Yeah, really nice looking figure, I think, overall. Let's have a look at the articulation now and see how well he moves. Alright, you can see that we have really nice head tilt for some good expression. Head spins 360 degrees, can look down a little bit, can look up decently. At the arm, you'll get more than a T-pose. He has the standard bicep swivel here. Can rotate, double jointed elbows, which are nice. The sculpted ball joint at the wrist, which is fine and good. I like it. Now here, he's got a diaphragm cut, so he should spin 360 degrees, and he does. Does he spin at the waist? You know what? He doesn't really spin at the waist, from what I can tell, or if he does, it's so tense that I'm not going to force it and break it. So it looks like you're really rotating him here at the diaphragm, which is probably enough. I'm not going to complain. I think it's something about the way the belt is joined to the diaper that just prevents the waist rotation. Yeah, so something to note. Now, he doesn't really lean forward much at all, but he can lean back about yay much. He'll rock from side to side on that ball joint, so that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. You can't really complain too much. It's decent. His legs kick out 90 degrees, double jointed. He can rock, he can pivot, he can tilt. It's the standard McFarlane sculpted ankle joint, toe joint, splits no problem. So yeah, he moves. Like he moves okay. He moves alright. You know, if you want to move Adam West into some funky poses, you can do it. I think the diaper is a little bit stiff, so the forward movement is tight. You might want to heat him up in a bit of hot water just to get that softened up for some really gnarly poses. But overall, he moves nicely. And I think for an Adam West Batman, you know, you're not really going to be getting him into too many ninja poses. He was a fairly static Batman, not the most acrobatic Batman we've ever seen. So yeah, he moves decently enough. So to kick off our comparisons, here we have Adam West Batman doing the Batusi Bat Dance, standing alongside Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer. And these are both from the movie Six Pack, and it's really edifying to have Adam West now to complete our theatrical/TV Batman collection. And of course, Adam West is a theatrical Batman as well. If you count the 66 movie, I'm not sure if that got released in theaters. Someone let me know. Was that a theatrical release or was it just a TV movie? Anyway, Adam West undisputably or indisputably belongs with these other legends. So it's just really nice to have him here. And look, you can see here that the wired cape sits a bit more awkwardly than those cloth capes. And I really do think a cloth cape would have been more appropriate for Adam West. But there's no doubt he looks great in the same scale as these guys. And here we have George Clooney Batman and Christian Bale the Dark Knight Batman with Adam West Batman. And look, God, would you watch a movie like Batman No Way Home with these three Batman actors in it? I mean, I know that's no longer possible due to, you know, death. But God, that would be a funny movie. The mashing of tones would just be amazing. In many ways, Clooney was doing an updated Adam West. Batman and Robin essentially is Batman 66 with, like, you know, a crazy gothic neon tinge. And I think that movie is best enjoyed on those terms. But yeah, these guys similarly look really, really fun together. And for the sake of completeness, here we have Robert Pattinson Batman and Justice League Batfleck along with Adam West. You'll see he's a little bit shorter than them, and I think that's probably accurate. That's probably in scale. I'm not sure how tall Adam West was, but it doesn't look too bad. In fact, I think they look really, really fun together. So that is Adam West with all the other Batman figures we've got from the movies, in that six-pack in particular. And yeah, I can't say it enough. It's just so satisfying to finally have Adam West in 7 inches. And the final comparison I wanted to do was with Manga Batman, mostly because these guys both just tickle the same itch in me. They're both just very different takes on Batman, more humorous, lighthearted, in terms of their sort of graphic style. They both have those like eyebrows painted on, I really, really like. They have very similar bottom lower legs, which I think are just the same sculpt, but a little bit modified. And they both just have lots of charm, and they're kind of, you know, I wouldn't say forgotten chapters of Batman's history. Manga Batman's a little bit forgotten, but lesser known iterations or lesser thought of iterations, and I just think they're a really fun pairing. And yeah, I'm really loving this diverse range of Batman figures we're getting. You know, we always say that Todd makes too many Batman figures. I don't agree. If he keeps it up like this and keeps releasing interesting, fun versions of Batman, what's not to love? You know, I think we could all get behind more cool, crazy, different, fun Batman figures. So yeah, lots of fun. So ultimately, this Batman Classic TV series figure is a really, really solid package. You get a lot in the box for your 20 US bucks. You get 2 sets of alternate hands, you get the Bat walkie-talkie, you get the Batarang, you get the display base, you get a wired cape, and this awesome figure. Now, the figure itself is close to perfect, but not quite. I do have some nitpicks. The cape, it's too long, it's too starchy, it's too bulky, and a shorter, This cloth cape would have been far, far preferable. But you know, that is a nitpick. You can pose it to make it look better. I just don't know why that decision was made to have such a big, starchy, wide cape. Now, the likeness to Adam West is rock solid. I think the head sculpt is really, really good. It's not perfect. It could have perhaps been a little better, but I think it's just rock solid, and you really are left in no doubt that this is Adam West from Batman 66. So yeah, if you're a fan of that, I think you're going to love this figure, and it's going to be an essential add to your collection. And I think it's highly likely that Todd McFarlane is going to release other figures in the 66 line in 7 inches, Robin, the villains, maybe even a 66 Batmobile for 7-inch scale. But anyway, friends, I think it's a great figure. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. If this video has been helpful, entertaining or informative, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Keep an eye out for all the further reviews to come, and in the meantime, thank you so much for watching.